Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope we're having a great end of the summer. It is quite intimidating, though, to think that in just 2 weeks from tonight, will be Rosh Hashanah, and then all of the Yom Tovim and holy days that follow Rosh Hashanah. And in these 2 weeks, now is the time to prepare to make sure that we'll have a meaningful, successful, inspiring, growth-oriented Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. And there are many opportunities here in the Shul at Young Israel. There will be a special shir with Rabbi Mordechai Willig this coming Monday morning. A week later, the next Monday evening, there was the annual high holiday lecture with Rabbi Akiva Tatz. There will be an amazing kumzitz and concert with Joey Newcomb a week from Sunday. Check that out. I encourage everyone to sign up. It'll be an amazing experience. And also for all of us in our own personal lives, now is the time before it's too late to prepare. If we don't prepare, we will be the ones who will lose out and not have a full Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur experience. So hopefully these next 2 weeks we can begin and get the momentum going and have a very meaningful and successful Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur season. Over the next 2 weeks, we'll also focus on our Erev Shabbos Vidui Dvar Torah on pieces of davening connected to this season. And today we'll speak about Avinu Malkeinu. We say Avinu Malkeinu on fast days throughout the year, but we also say it on every day of Asir Simei Tshuva and several times on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And the Gemara says that the source of at least that phrase, Avinu Malkeinu, and the basic idea of the tefillah goes back to Rabbi Akiva with the following story. Maisa, the Rabbi Elazar, Shiyari Lifnei Ativa, there one time was a drought, and there was going to be a famine, and people were not going to have enough food. And the great Rabbi Elazar Haggadah, the sage of the Mishnah, went and led the community in davening, Va'amar Esrim Va'arba Brachos, and said the special Shemona Esrei associated with those communal fasts that actually had 24 brachos, V'lo Nana. And he wasn't answered, the rain did not come. Yarad Rabbi Akiva Acharav, and so Rabbi Akiva followed Rabbi Elazar. Va'amar, and he got up and he didn't lead the community in any Shemona Esrei or any set tefillah, but in his own words he said, Avinu Malkeinu, our Father, our King. Ein lanu melech elata, we only have you. Whom else do we have to rely upon? The same words we still say today, almost 2,000 years later. Avinu Malkeinu lemancha rachem aleinu, our Father, our King, for your sake, have mercy on us. V'yaradnu geshamin, and the rain fell. The people, the community were rejoicing, but the rabbis, Havimaranani Rabbanan, the rabbis, the other sages, began to murmur and whisper. And they said, you see that Rabbi Akiva is greater than Rabbi Elazar. Yatzabaskol va'amran, of heavenly voice, therefore came and spoke. Lo mipnei shezeh gadol mizeh. It is not because one is greater than the other. Rabbi Akiva is not in totality necessarily greater than Rabbi Elazar. Ela shezeh mavra midosav, v'zeh ina mavra midosav. They had different approaches. Rabbi Elazar was strict. Rabbi Elazar was a leader that sometimes had to be direct and sometimes a little harsh. But Rabbi Akiva was mavir al midosav. He was always forgiving and forbearing, and he was mochel. He gave up any honor. He never demanded anything. He gave everything to everyone else. And in that merit, Hashem answered his prayers. And there is an obvious midah kneged midah symmetry here. If someone is forgiving and forbearing, if someone doesn't demand perfection from others, but is understanding of others, if someone is willing to give to others, so then Hashem will respond, and Hashem will be forgiving and forbearing to us, and Hashem will not demand perfection from us, and Hashem will be accepting of us as we are, if we accept people as they are. And this is obviously one way to prepare for Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, to work on this aspect, this mindset, to be mavir al midosav, to not demand everything that we have a right to forgive, even if someone actually has harmed us, to be more patient, to be more accepting, and in that merit, Hashem will treat us the same way and will judge us for the coming year in that spirit. But I think there's an even deeper understanding of the unique power of Rabbi Akiva's tefillah. There are two ways to pray to Hashem in a heartfelt way. There's one way to focus on our needs, to come to Hashem and open up our hearts, open up our souls, and say, Hashem, I'm in pain, or Hashem, I need this, or Hashem, I so much want this, or Hashem, these are my hopes, or Hashem, I know this is the part of me that I'm struggling with. And that is what Hashem wants. Hashem wants us to open up and to share it with Hashem. But that is necessarily very much focused on ourselves. We're thinking about ourselves, even if it's how we want to grow. But there's another way to pray to Hashem, which obviously is bound up in our tefillos and our desires and our hopes. But we are more focused on Hashem. We turn to Hashem like Rabbi Akiva, and we say, Rachem aleinu, l'mancha, have mercy on us for your sake. We think about how Hashem is in pain if we are in pain, how Hashem is struggling if we are struggling, how Hashem, his infinite mercy and love for us, and how much he so much wants to just give to us and to help us. He is more than a human parent, how much they love and want to help their child. Rebi was Mavra Midosaf. It was never about him. He was always looking to the other. And even when he davened, it was not about him. He was looking to Hashem. It was about Hashem. It was about bringing Hashem nachas. It was about coming closer to Hashem, which we know brings Hashem joy and pleasure, if we could say such things. And it was that prayer that at that moment was needed, that Hashem responded to, and the rain fell. Neither one is greater than the other. Akiva versus Rebi Lezer. And on Rosh Hashanah Kippur, we are to daven in both ways. We are to daven focusing on ourselves, meaning we're to get more in touch with our true deepest selves, to open up our hearts and our souls, to share with Hashem what we truly want, what we are worried about, to share Hashem with how we want to be better, to share Hashem with the parts of us that we are struggling with, to share Hashem our deepest philos, coming from us, from our hearts and our souls. That is what Hashem wants. And also, on Rosh Hashanah Kippur, we hope to, in that opening, to connect to Hashem, to, so to speak, get into Hashem's mind, to feel Hashem's infinite love and mercy and commitment towards us. And the more we feel Hashem's love and commitment and mercy towards us, the more it will engender and strengthen the love that we have towards him. And the more that we love him, the more he will love us. It is, they feed off of one another. Akiva and Rebi Lezer, davening from ourselves and our needs, and davening from the perspective of Hashem's mercy and Hashem's love. We should be able to combine both strengths, both approaches to Hashem. As we get ready, we should think about these ideas, try to bring a little bit more into our davening these last 2 weeks to get ready for Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. So in Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, we're already primed to daven, to connect, to grow, to have a successful and meaningful Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. And in that merit, Hashem should grant us all a wonderful year ahead. Good Shabbos and Shabbat Shalom.